Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Happy weekend. We made it. Another week down. Well, speaking of a down week, S&P 500 was down a little this week, but really just a smidge. We formed some pretty solid resistance. So we'll see if that ends up becoming one of those rounded tops that takes a bit to form and we get a dip, which may be more likely based on a lot of things I'm seeing, but could indeed turn back north. Now, there's a couple other things I want to talk about here today. I've been looking at a lot of the stocks that I typically watch and others, and especially in some of the ones that I typically watch, which are these here on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand side of my screen. Apple, Amazon, Arch, all these. And some of them have been having some pretty kind of different moves. And you don't see that very often. You just get that sense that things are not moving how they normally do. And there's a reason for that, I think. In the end of the year, especially as we get towards the end of December, we get to a couple of things. Window dressing and tax planning. So window dressing is when big fund managers sell the losing stocks because they don't want to have in their prospectuses that they owned a stock that's down a lot, and buying strong stocks so that they can show them for just the opposite reason. And tax planning is a similar concept, but any individual or company can do that. Stocks that are losers, companies are more likely, or individuals or companies are more likely to sell to take the tax loss. And the ones that are winners, they're more likely to hold until they've held them for a year to pay the long-term capital gains tax, which is a lower rate than the short-term capital gains tax. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is the Santa Claus Rally, so-called. And that is the last 5 trading days of the year, plus the first 2 of the new year. And we typically see about a 2/3 chance of the market rising during that period. Now, we're not there yet. We've got 1 week before so-called Santa Claus period here. But during that period, it does tend to be statistically a little better to be long than to be short. Some food for thought this weekend. Hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli. Trade smart and stay warm.